Well, hello and welcome again to our reading of the book of Tobit from the Septuagint, and we're up to chapter 12. Kai hoti epeteleste hogamos. And when the gamos, well, it's normally the wedding, but it can also have the meaning of wedding feast, as it does in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 22. And similarly in the New Testament, gamos can often mean the actual wedding feast rather than the actual marriage itself. But when the marriage feast had been completed, Tobit called Tobias his son and said to him, "My boy, horadunai ton miston to anthropo to poruthenti metasu kai prostenai auto es ton miston." Hora, imperative here, so look. Dunai, now this is an infinitive, but it's being used here as an imperative. It's sort of look at, to give, so it's sort of think about, or so give the reward to the man, the one having gone with you. And again, another infinitive for imperative. Prostenai, and well, prostenai is to add, to increase it for him with regard to the payment, with the reward. So in other words, give him his due payment, but you might like to increase it, to add to it, from prostithemi. And he said to him, "Father, poson auto dosoton miston, and how much reward will I give to him? Ublaptomai didus auto tohemisu ton hupakonton hon enenoken met emu." Literally, I would not be injured, blaptomai, so blapto, it wouldn't do me any harm, giving to him half of what exists, half of those things which, and it gets subtracted into the genitive here, half of those possessions which enenoken, from Pharaoh, perfect from Pharaoh, which he carried with me. Eme agai oken hugiainon to kai ten gunai kamu etherapusen kai to agurion eneken met emu kai se etherapusen. Now we get this lovely form of the verb here, agai oken, which is a very late form, 2nd century form of the perfect from ago, normally acre, and this doesn't continue on into the New Testament, this form. It's an interesting 2nd century form, that which is late but doesn't seem to continue on to the New Testament. So literally, he has led me, hugainonta, there's that very common verbal root here again, in good health, and he healed my wife, saved her from the evil demon, and he brought from Pharaoh again the silver with me, and he healed you. So he's done all of these things. Toson autoi etidomiston. How much would I give him further as a reward? Kai epen auto tobis, we see this tobis form again here in place of tobith. So we're getting both of these. Just a few lines up we had tobith, here we're getting tobis. I can't see any particular reason why it's becoming a sigma here. And Tobit said to him, "Dikaiutai auto paidion labain tohemis panton hon ekon aelthin." Well, something like it is deemed just. So it is deemed just to him, or so it is right, O boy, for him, Laban, to take half of all those things which he, or perhaps with which, for ekon often just means with which he came, with which perhaps half of what he carried, possibly not half of everything, and it may refer to the money rather than the bride gifts and other possessions that were brought. So remember, Tobias was given lots of extra things by his new father-in-law. This may simply refer to the money. Kayakale sen auton, and he called him and said, take half of all the things which you came, with which you came, i.e. with me, es ton misthon, as your reward, and depart hugiainon in good health. Toti ekalesen tus duo kryptos kai epen autois. Then he called the two of them kryptos secretly, and said to them, bless God, and this is the passive form here. May you be blessed, or perhaps give thanks here from this may be a middle form here, in fact. So bless God, and ex homolog guess there, give thanks to him before all living things, in respect of those good things which he has done with you, or among you. So we get tu eulogan kai homnen to onoma autu. 2 plus the, so it's articular infinitive, for the purpose of blessing and singing hymns to his name. So as to bless him and sing hymns to his name. Tus logus tu theou hypodate nute, pasin anthropois intimos kai me okneto ex homologes the auto. And reveal the words of God to all men, intimos, with good honour, and do not shrink from ex homologesthai, there's that in the same verb again, to give thanks to him. Now we get this funny expression here, musterion basileos krypton kalon. Literally, it is a good thing to hide the mystery of the king. Well, there's apparently an old Egyptian saying that don't discuss Pharaoh's business when you're drinking beer. So it's probably in that same sense. So it is good to keep, because he's going to tell them in a second who he really is, and I think he's saying here, it's best that you keep this mystery a secret. So it's literally, it's just an aphorism here. It is good to hide the mystery, the secret things of the king. And ta erga tu theo anakalupton, and now we get a but here. So on the one hand, it's good to keep silent about the mysteries of the king, but to reveal the works of God and to give thanks, entimos, again we've got the same verse here, with good honour. To agathon poiete, do what is good, and the subject here is kakon, a bad thing will not find you. Agathon prosuke met aletheas, so the agathon here, you have to understand esti, so it is a good thing. We've got feminine prosuke, even though we've got agathon neuter here. So it's prayer with truth, and eliamosune, almsgiving, or perhaps showing mercy with righteousness, is a good thing. Marlon rather than, Marlon Plutos meta adikias, rather than wealth with injustice. Kalon poiesai elemosune, Marlon theoserisai krusion. So it is a good thing to, literally, to make mercy, or to, perhaps it could be make almsgiving, elemosune, rather than thesarisai, this is an infinitive from thesaristo, to store up crucion gold. Elemosune, showing of kindness, showing of mercy, saves from death. Kai aute apokatherai pason hamatia, and it cleanses away all sin. Those showing mercy, cortes thesontai soes, will be satisfied with life. This is an interesting verb. Cortasto originally was used of animals feeding, satisfying their hunger, and then the word comes to be softened and used more metaphorically here in the sense of will be satisfied, and that meaning continues on into the New Testament. You can see it, in fact, in the Sermon on the Mount. It's the same verb used there. So those who show mercy will be satisfied with life. Hoi poiuntes, those who commit sin and adikion and unrighteousness, they are polemioi, they are hostile, perhaps enemies, of their own soul. Pasan tan elethean humin hupedexai, I will reveal to you the whole truth, and in no way will I hide pan rema, any word or anything. Rema is, in classical Greek, it's connected with the root from lego, meaning a word, but it's used in the Septuagint to in either a word or a thing. So I will not hide anything from you or any word from you. Ade humin hupedexa, and now I revealed to you, and I said, it is good to hide the mystery of the king, and to anakalupta, and to reveal the works of God. En doxos, before we had en timos, but they both have similar meaning here, I think, with good honour. Kai nun hoti pros e uxo kai Sarah, and now when you prayed, and Sarah understood prayed, ego pros egogon, I took the mene mosunon, interesting word here, the memory or the of your prayer. So I made mention of your prayer. Literally, I brought the bringing to mind of your prayer before the glory of God. So I brought the before the glory of God the remembrance of your prayer, the intention perhaps of your prayer. Kai hoti ethaptes tus necrus hos autos. And when, and likewise, when you used to bury the dead corpses, this is referring to Tobit's practice of burying the dead. Kai hote uk oknesas, and when you did not shrink, you didn't resile from standing up and leaving your breakfast, and you went, kai perius steles ton necron, and you made arrangements regarding the corpse. This was right back in chapter 2. Toti apestalmai, at that time I was sent. This is the perfect passive. Perfect passive here. At that time I was sent to you, parasai, to tempt you, or perhaps to test rather than tempt, I think here. Kai hama, and at the same time God sent me Easasthai to heal you, and understand, to heal Sarah your daughter-in-law. And finally, Raphael declares himself. He says, Ego eimi Raphael, I am Raphael, one of the 7 angels who stand beside and who go in before the glory of God. This is the Shekinah glory that we see mentioned in the Old Testament. This is the first reference to the 7 angels in the Bible. As the book of Revelation, I think, has mention of these also. There is a reference to the 7 eyes of the Lord in Zechariah 4:10, and in Iranian religion there are 7 high spirits serve the god Ahura Mazda. So this idea of 7 is a sacred number, so here there are 7 angels. Kai et tarakves and hoi duo, and the 2 of them were troubled, and they literally fell upon their faces, or upon their face I should say, it's singular, and they were terrified. And he said to them, Do not fear, peace be with you. Bless God, es panta ton Iona, all your life. Ego hoti amen, methemon, when I was with you. Literally, I was not en eme kariti, methumon. Literally, I was not there. This was amen from the first person singular, from the past tense of the verb to be. So I was not with you, literally for my or by my grace. So I wasn't there on my own behalf, doing a favour to you on my own behalf, but I was there by the will of God. So, an odd thing to say here, I think it's I didn't do this off my own bat as a kindness to you, but I was there by the will of God. Bless him, kara pasas tes hemeras, all the days, and whom nete auto, sing hymns to him. Kai ethereti mehoti uk ephagon udin, and you were seeing me that I did not eat nothing. So I did not eat anything. We get this uthen for uden in classical, but you'll get this form often in the Septuagint and in the New Testament as well. It's because by this stage the delta and the theta were being pronounced very in a similar way as they are in modern Greek. So uden gets pronounced as uden, and then the delta starts being written as a theta. So odd thing here that he doesn't, they say that you never saw me eating anything, because he's an angel. So you did not see me that I did not eat anything. So you saw me that I didn't eat anything. Al horasis humin atherata, but a horasis, a vision, Etheriot, was seen by you. A vision was seen by you. Kai nun eulogete, and now bless the Lord upon the earth, and give thanks to God. Idu ego anabina proston epistelante me. Behold, I go to the one having sent me. Anabino is to go up to the one having sent me. Write all these things down, the things which transpired from Sumbino here, which transpired for you, kai anebe, and off he went. Literally, he went up. Kai anis their son, and they stood up. Kai uketi edunanto udainauton. Notice this funny use here of, this is the past of dunamai, but it's got an funny double augment here. No longer were they able to see him, and they blessed and they sang hymns to God, and they gave thanks to him over all his great works, since Ophthe autois angelos theus, since an angel of the Lord, Ophthe from Horah, had appeared autois to them. And that is the end of chapter 12.